We're on a roll, guys. Back in the doghouse. Today we have Will Whipple, 18-year-old on the come-up bodybuilder. Super excited to have him on. Will, are you excited to go through your journey with me and talk about how you got started through this whole bodybuilding thing?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very honored that you invited me on here. I was looking forward to it. I'd love to talk about bodybuilding, let the world know more about the sport. It's kind of obscure, but you know, it's still a great sport, so I want people to know about it.
A lot of people don't know about bodybuilding, but it's on the come up in sports. And how did you get started with this bodybuilding journey, Will?
I got started because a good friend of a mutual friend of ours, Ty Johnson, actually got me into the gym when we went to Minnesota a long time ago, and he showed me some weights, and honestly, I just really enjoyed it, you know, and then like any other kid, I was watching the Rocky movies, the Commando with Arnold, you know, the big oiled up 80s action heroes. And I was like, you know, shit, I want to look like that. I want to, you know, like, damn, those guys look awesome. I want to do that. So kind of just started lifting from there.
Ty just take you to the gym and then you were like, oh, this is for me. I'm going to be the biggest person in the world. Or did it take time, like slowly going over the days, like, okay, now I want to be a bodybuilder?
Honestly, it was really like at first, I just really enjoyed lifting, like feeling the weights going up and down, feeling the muscles get pumped up. Like it felt really good. It was fun. And then pretty quickly after that, like probably 2-3 months into actually lifting, once I got a gym membership, I was like, all right, I really like this. I want to do this professionally. I want to do this for my life, you know? So I want to make getting big my life goal.
What have you been actively doing besides going to the gym, eating right, to get yourself ready to be in the bodybuilder conventions like the Arnold Classics and such? Have you been watching podcasts of other bodybuilders, seeing other bodybuilders, how they perform? What have you been doing to prepare yourself?
Well, preparing for a bodybuilding competition, but like you already said, it's working out, it's diet. Those are really the big needle pushers. But something that's often neglected is mentality. So like the way you think, the way you interpret things, your introspection, even in your own self, in your sport. So I've really been working on getting like my mentality in like a champion mindset. It sounds a little cringy. It sounds a little like, you know, oh, this guy's stupid, he's watching too many Machiavelli motivation, but
I don't think so at all. Mentality's a great thing to cover because you got to conquer your mind before you're going to conquer the world with bodybuilding. But is there any figures, doesn't have to be bodybuilders, that you look up to that has a strong mind, so you're like, okay, I need to acquire that?
Well, I mean, the obvious pick, and he is a bodybuilder, but he's more than just that, Arnold. I mean, you hate to say it because it's so basic and white bread, but he really is not only the best bodybuilder, in my opinion, but come on, I mean, best bodybuilder of all time, but he was also one of the best movie stars. He was a politician. He did 3 totally different careers, and he was successful in all 3 of those. And that just shows you, like, if you have that right champion mentality, that extreme confidence, you know, on the edge of arrogance, you can really accomplish anything. Even if you're just some 18-year-old immigrant from Austria in the United States in the 1970s, you can literally conquer the world.
How important is consistency, especially with your diet and working out? Like, you have to be doing it on point every day or you're going to lose your progress, correct?
Yeah, pretty much. Particularly with the diet, training is a little bit like more lax in terms of consistency. Like if you miss a day of training, it's not going to kill you. But if you diet, if you miss a day of eating, you know, the right amount of carbs, so if I'm trying to get 600 grams of carbs and I only get like 450, then the next day it'll be reflected in the weight, in the scale. I'll probably be down 3 to 5 pounds. That's not actual muscle tissue that's going up and down. It doesn't happen within a day. That's just water, intracellular water retention and glycogen storage. But I mean, that still reflects on both your actual weight and how you look in the gym. So I would say definitely diet you need to stay consistent with.
Damn, that's a really good answer. And when you're at the gym, is there like an ick you get? So if someone's not doing the right form with back or whatever it is, do you just had the urge to go up and tell them, hey, buddy, that's the wrong form right there?
I'm just going to walk up to him and just smack him across the face. That's not right. No, I don't really. Occasionally I'll see people and I'll just be like, okay, really? What are you doing? What are you really working out here? But I've learned not to like try to help or correct people because, you know, sometimes they're doing something that you don't even know. Like you might go to correct them and then they're doing an exercise that you didn't even think of. So it's like then you look like an idiot. Or even if you are correcting them and they were doing it wrong, then you just seem like an arrogant prick. So it's like, you know, I just let people do what they want to do.
Have you tried that before? Speaking from experience, it sounds like.
Yeah, maybe. I may have done that once or twice. Come up to people and be like, hey, I personally wouldn't do that. And they're generally nice about it, but I usually just let people come to me. If they have questions, if they want to like, you know, figure out if they're doing something right, I'll just let them ask me instead of approaching them.
What gym do you usually work out at?
I work out at Crunch on Wickham. It's near my school. I like Crunches. I have the premium membership, so I can go to like any of the Crunches around the country, and I've been to like probably 10 to 15.
Wow. So you've been to all kinds of different Crunches, and do you have a routine at Crunch that you like to keep in habit?
A routine? I don't really have like a traditional routine as like, you know, you see on Instagram, like the PPL routine or the Arnold routine where you hit these same exercises. It kind of really just depends on how I'm feeling, you know, where my joints are at, where my ligaments, like if I have any injuries, and I'll just go in there, go for my heavy set. So I have like a set of like a principles that I design my program off of. So I have my first exercise is always a heavy compound. So like for legs, it'll be squats, usually just barbell squats. That's my favorite. I mean, they're great. They work. For chest, it'll be like bench press, usually dumbbell bench press. I like dumbbell inclines. And I'll just go really heavy and hard on that first 2 sets, first lift of the workout. And then I'll just do accessories for the rest of it.
After you get that pump, do you go in the mirror and like pose to see if like my muscles are pumping?
Oh yeah. It's posing is very important. Even during like training, like in between lifts, like if you focus on muscle contraction through posing, you can actually get more of that mind muscle connection, which is very important.
Speaking of supplements, what would you recommend for someone new to the gym to obtain supplements? So is it creatine, protein? What would you tell them to get?
I would say creatine's great to start out with. It is the most studied supplement in the world, hands down. It's studied more than protein powder or pre-workout or Celsius drinks. I mean, it's safe. It's totally safe. It's a great workout supplement. It helps a little bit. It's not going to be like, you know, performance enhancers where you're growing 20 pounds after 2 months, but you're still going to make a little bit of progress. So I definitely say creatine. Protein, there's no disadvantage if you're not eating enough protein through your meats, through your, you know, chicken, your rice, chicken, your fish, your steak, whatever, then yeah, throw in a couple scoops of protein, get your protein goal in. That's totally fine. I wouldn't say pre-workout is as necessary. It's kind of like, hey, if you really need the energy, but to be fair, I'd kind of avoid it because pre-workout can be dangerous.
Would you consider the gym a social environment? Because you can meet new friends, potential girlfriends, work advisors, about anybody through the gym.
Oh yeah, the gym's definitely like a social environment. I like to think of it as like a playground. You know, like I grew out of the 5th grade playground, but now I'm just in a bigger playground, the Iron Palace. So
you're doing pull-ups as your playground.
Exactly. Instead of the monkey bars, I'm just doing pull-ups. I'm doing bench press. And there's a lot of great people. Like if you go to the right gym and you have the right attitude, you can really meet some awesome people, and it's a great community. Like when I've traveled to multiple bodybuilding conventions. I went to the Olympia in November, the 2023 Olympia. I went to the 2024 Arnold Classic in Ohio, and I got to meet all these wonderful bodybuilders, some professionals that had competed that night. And overall, everyone's just so awesome. They're so nice. The bodybuilding community is really welcoming. It's great people. It really is.
Before the podcast, you said you met some famous bodybuilder celebrities. Who did you meet in these conventions?
I met a lot. I mean, I pretty much met everyone I needed to. I got pictures and met Chris Bumstead. Of course, everyone knows him. Jay Cutler, I got a picture with him. We both did a quad stomp.
Jay Cutler, yeah. I
think I looked a little better than him, but
well, he's a little older now, so he's knocking out those fresh muscles.
Oh, like yeah. He's like a good 30 pounds, 40 pounds less than he was when he was competing. But
so you're still like a young gun, bro. You're 18. You're going to be a hothead for a while until like you reach your 50s and you're slowing down, and you're not going to get as, you know.
He still looked really good. He was old. Like he's a mid to late 40s. And he was looking really good, dude. Like for that old, I mean, damn, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be I love Ronnie Coleman. I got to meet him as well. He was super nice, but I don't want to be like that, you know, all messed up with your back in a wheelchair.
Obviously, too, with the sport, it comes with it. Are they on something, or what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, all professional bodybuilding is going to have gear usage, is going to have performance enhancer usage. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what makes the sport great. No one watches natural bodybuilding, no offense, but like you only watch it unless you or someone you know is competing in it and you have an actual personal investment in it. But when it comes down to just pure entertainment, like disconnected, no personal investment, then you're going to be watching the professional bodybuilding, whether it's men's physique or classic or even a women's like figure all of them are using performance
I think
enhancers.
Arnold was the main source of this inspiration to go on gear and steroids per se, because everyone looks up to him, and he's the one doing these conventions, right? For these young guys to come in, and they're going to be on gear and steroids.
Well, the funny thing is, he actually started a lot earlier than he admitted to. He in his book, I forget the name of the book, but he wrote an autobiography about himself. And he said that he started when he was 20 when he came over to America. This isn't actually true. He started when he was 15 years old. One of his father's friends in Austria goes by the name of Kurt Marnol. If you don't believe me, you can look this up. Kurt Marnol was Arnold's first training coach in Austria when Arnold was 15 to 18. And during that time, he was giving him PEDs. He was giving him, I believe, 1 shot of Decadurabolin a week, and then I think it was a couple tabs of Dianabol or something a week.
What are those things?
Anabolic steroids.
Okay.
It's not that much, especially by today's standards. Like 1 shot of Decadurabolin. Back then it came in ampules, which are very small dosage. So it's probably like 100 milligrams a week, which is like nothing compared to today's standards. But I mean, still, that's more than a natural, and for 15, that's pretty young to start.
And just for the people know exactly who I'm talking to, Will, can we go over your maxes on all the different things in the gym, such as bench, squat, deadlift? Like, give me the whole rundown.
Okay. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not the strongest guy. I do bodybuilding, not powerlifting, so I don't have the best lifts. I got 3 plates recently on bench for 2 on flat barbell. My squat, I don't really max on squat, but I've gotten 365 for a set of 10 on barbell squat. So that's probably my best squat. I don't deadlift just because it's not really necessary, especially for bodybuilding. If you want to
just blow out your back, or what's with deadlifting that's bad?
It's good, but it's definitely dangerous. Like on your lower back, it's one of the more dangerous lifts because you have to lift extremely heavy for it to be for you to get something out of it. Exactly. So it's just not worth it. If you want to do a movement that's similar to deadlifts without the risk of injury, but still get the same muscle growth and feeling, do rack pulls. I've done those. So I've done like 4 plates, and I'll do like sets of 10 on a rack pull. And it's very similar. It just kind of removes that lower back leg movement from the deadlift, only having to focus on the top half of the contraction of your upper back.
What was your max bench?
Max bench, 3 plates for 2.
3 plates for 2. Wow.
So, I mean, like you said, not a power lifter, bodybuilder, but
you're 18 years old doing all these things. That's the crazy part to me. And you look like you're 25, bro. Look at you. You look like a champion bodybuilder already in my eyes.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm trying. I want to go professional. I want to compete professionally. I have aspirations to change the sport, to be completely honest. I want to be the next Arnold, the next Chris, the next Jay. I want to have my own show one day, potentially, the Whipple Classic.
Yeah, man, I hope you change the world with that. I think people already look up to you for your size and everything. Like, Will, give me advice in the gym.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of my friends in my grade in high school that'll be like, hey, man, I'm trying to get, training. I'm trying to get big. My legs aren't looking as good. And I'll help them out, because they're my friends, and I'll help them out. And I love it. People feel like they can trust me. They can come to me and ask, and I'll help them, to the best of my ability. I'm not a professional yet. I don't know everything, certainly not. There's always more to learn. I'm always trying to learn. I mean, I make it a mission of mine to befriend the biggest guy in the gym so I can just learn off of him. I'll just follow around the 240-pound monster.
Plus, that would want you to, get more up. If you're following the little guy, then you're just have an ego and you're not pushing yourself to failure. But you're going to push yourself to failure if you're following the big guy, because I want to be bigger than him.
Exactly. When I'm standing next to, I have a friend of mine, Wilson Peralta. He's a current NPC competitor, and he's competing for his pro card in the next couple months. He'll definitely get it. He looks amazing. He is 5'11". I'm pretty sure 5'11" and 240, 245, sub 10% body fat. Mm-hmm. So when I'm standing next to him, I'm like, damn, I need to pick up my game.
That's good, because you need someone that pushes yourself in life. Anybody needs that to get to the next level.
Oh, yeah.
In the gym, obviously, you've probably gone through some injuries. So can we talk about that? That setback, and then how you got back on your feet to the top.
Okay, so injury-wise, I don't really have any serious injuries, as particularly not from the sport, actual lifting or anything. I don't suffer acute injuries. I've had some surgeries done on different parts of my body, but more for birth defects. I had an extra bone in my foot. I had my nose was all messed up, so I had to get a nose job pretty much, but it was all internal. It still looks crooked as hell.
But not too much damage where it's like you had to get surgery per se?
I had to get surgery. They put me under and all that. But so it took me out of the gym for like 4 to 8 weeks each surgery. I also had to have surgery in my hand. I broke both my metacarpal bones on the far right side of my right hand. But honestly, gym injuries, gym setbacks, like if you even if it's not gym and you're just set back, you can get back into it pretty easy. Like you'll lose that water weight, like I talked about earlier, the intercellular water retention. Even if your dieting is still on point, you'll still lose weight, but you'll be able to get that back very quickly.
We talked about earlier, mentality is such an important thing because when you're at your weakest point, in the hospital, gone from the gym 8 weeks, you need to be strong to get back in the gym and start lifting again and get to where you were before.
Oh yeah.
So you probably had some muscle loss too, right? Being gone so long.
Yeah. And that's when the mentality thing that's when you really need to, again, that's very important because during those times it's like, shit, I really don't want to lift. I don't, it's like, why bother going to the gym? I look like shit anyway, so I'm not going to lift today. I'll just go tomorrow. And then you can fall into that and just never go to the gym again. But you just got to force yourself. And honestly, within 2 to 3 weeks after like a big surgery, you can get most of what you had back because of muscle memory. It's true. You can really retain or return to the state you were pre-surgery fairly easily as long as you get back to that consistency. Once you're fully healed, get right back on that consistent diet, that consistent training, and you'll be good. How
helpful is the gym to you when, you're stressed out for an upcoming exam and you're just like, man, I need to get my mind off this. You just think gym, so you lift weights and then boom, that stress is gone?
Exactly. Well, lifting weights, exercise in general is proven time and time again by every scientific community across the globe that exercise actually does release dopamine. It releases serotonin. Those are the feel-good hormones that go through your neurological processes. The reward system is what it's called. So you really do feel like you're basically like taking a drug or something. When you go to the gym, you really feel like, oh, this feels really good. Makes me feel happy. It makes you feel confident.
I feel like it's the next thing that you feel really alive. If you're not like in the octagon like these UFC fighters, like getting beat, where like that's the most you're gonna feel alive. But the gym, because your body is getting hurt, getting affected by lifting muscles, like it's honestly awakening.
Oh yeah, the whole process of lifting weights is just causing very microscopic microfibular tears in each of the muscles. So you're literally beating up every muscle in your body for hours on end every day, and it feels great. You're like, damn, this is awesome. I want to go do it again tomorrow.
That's awesome. And before we sign out, Will, what would you tell for an upcoming youngster that wants to get in the gym and is scared to finally get in there and get to work?
For any new person, the biggest thing that I hear everyone say, whether it's girls that I talk to, whether it's guys that I talk to, the biggest thing is gym intimidation or whatever, where they see these big guys and they're like, oh, I don't want to be the overweight guy, or I don't want to be the super skinny guy, and just don't know what I'm doing. Listen, the gym, as I said before, when it comes to community, for the most part, there are those bad apples, because who doesn't have bad apples? But I feel like the gym community really is a very positive community overall. So like if you're worried about gym intimidation and people thinking negatively of you or judging you or not, don't. They're not, I promise. If you go up and ask someone like myself, or you ask some big dude, more than likely, 99% of the time, they're going to be totally willing to help you out, to give you reassurance, to be like, hey man, I see your form, it's pretty good. I love that you're in the gym. They'll give you some pointers. So just don't worry about what other people are thinking about you, because 99% of the time they're either not paying attention or they're thinking to themselves, hey, look at this guy. That's where I started 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Good for them.
I see a lot of the times too, the bigger guys in the gym are usually the nicer guys in the gym that want to see you succeed.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And before we sign out today, Will, do you want to shout out anything on Instagram or social media platforms?
Oh, yeah. I have a Instagram going. It's pretty small. I just kind of started posting Will_pool. That's my Instagram. I post some lifting stuff, some posing videos. I'll definitely be making it bigger as I go on, but go check that out if you want to continue to follow my bodybuilding career as I work towards my IFBB pro status.
Thank you for coming on, Will. Next special athlete coming next week. See you soon, guys.
All the little lies you would say just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Ego in a dog being nice. Every single dog gonna bite. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just